What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I really hope you're doing well. Thank you, as ever, for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Real quickly, if you haven't done so already, if you are new to the channel, if you could hit the subscribe button, and also if you could like the video, I'd really appreciate it. Any comments that you've got, please feel free to put them in the comment section down below. Always look forward to having, decent conversations with people about any videos that I put on. So let us get into my analysis of the game. I'm so happy we won, and I'm so happy we won in the way that we did. Fantastic. Just overall, just brilliant. I mean, it wasn't a bad performance. It was a slog. It was quite clear. I mean, I was at the game. It was in the cop, so it was very vociferous in there. There was one poor guy who was getting that stressed out that I was pretty sure that he was going to have some form of aneurysm at one point. But yet again, I travelled to a game, and because the parking situation is as what it is, I missed the opening goal and I miss our equaliser as ever. So every game I've been to this season, that's happened. I don't know what's going on with that, but, here we are. So, overall, it's great. We maintain our home record, still unbeaten at home, which is a really, really good thing. Preston, fair play to them. They set out to play how they wanted to. They were kicking lumps out of us throughout the entire game. There's no two ways about it. There was time wasting going on as the game went on, and it looked like it was going to stick it as a 1-1. Just the keeper, the mystery injury that the keeper had in the second half when we came out all guns blazing, and he sat down on the floor, then got up because he was absolutely fine, and then sat down on the floor again. Was interesting to say the least, and infuriating as well. But, it's gamesmanship. It's part and parcel of the game. The tackle on Gruev was just disgusting. The booking that Firpo got, that we still can't work out why he got the booking, because it went out for a throw-in, and then he did a throw-in, and then, I don't know, he just got booked. I'm not sure what happened. The booking that Rutter got was, again, a joke. The replay clearly shows he was stamped on. Yes, he made a bit of a meal of it, but he was fouled. There's no other way about it. He was fouled. You can't... There's nothing you can do to get away from that. And it was the dark arts. Again, we have to talk about referees. Even though we got the penalty, I still can't begin to tell you how bad the referee was. There was instances all over the pitch, like the amount of times they were leaning in and pushing into the back of our players, and it was just being ignored. And then Preston would get like the softest of free kicks. You just can't begin to stress how infuriating that is. It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. But again, we move. The opening goal that Preston scored, it was ping pong. There's nothing else you can say about it. It was just absolute ping pong. Then we scored the equaliser. Firpo, this player's redemption arc, 3 games in January, 4 assists so far? How? Why? Where has this come from? There was, in the first half, there was a block that he did that the entire cop end just absolutely went mental about, because he just put his entire body on the line, and it was just like he was being a brick wall. His forward play was quite good. Obviously, his defending was quite good, which is rare for Firpo. But in terms of the build-up for our equalising goal, the ball put through by Somerville had probably had just a touch too much on it, but what it did mean is that he didn't have time to think about it when it came to doing the cross, and he just put up this absolute peach of a cross, which, all 4'7" of Dan James scoring at the far post with the header for his 10th goal. And there's a conversation to be had about Dan James being player of the season, by the way, just with 10 goals for the season, 6 assists, so that's 16 goal involvements this season. He's been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, and he scared the living doo-doo out of the Preston defence. Every time he got the ball, he looked like he was going to do something with it. From where he played a through ball to Patrick Bamford. Bamford missed it, and Dan James just went, "That's all right, I'll just get through on my own through ball." And the chip on the keeper, the slight miss, just his overall interplay was just brilliant. I was very, very impressed with him. I was impressed with Bamford as well. I thought that he, again, did fantastic in terms of what he's supposed to do, which is occupying the central defenders, the stretching, the moving, making space, moving positions. Rutter was a little bit off. Unlucky with his shot against the post, but he was a little bit off, but he's just a constant thorn in everybody's side. At one point, he was rugby tackled, which wasn't shouted as a foul, which was just bonkers, but there you go. The funniest bit of the match, I do have to say, was when their player got injured, they put the ball out, we then threw it in, the ref went, "No, you've got to throw it to one of your players, and then they can then kick it back." So the ball was then thrown to Ampadu, and Ampadu just did this like spin pass. And the daft thing is that if the Preston player had run, he would have got the ball. But the ball just travelled out on the corner flag for a throw-in, but like right on the corner flag. And it was they all bitched and moaned about it, but there was countless times where their keeper was just time wasting, where in the first half their manager did the same thing, didn't give the ball back, just kind of dropped it and went, "You go and pick it up yourself." And oh God, just that was their game plan, their setup. Really grizzled championship bastardy type football is the best way that I can explain it. They had a little bit of desire about them. They went forward a little bit. Fair play to them. They sat in the low block quite a lot. I watched them. They hardly did anything in the second half. I think Meslier made one good save in the first half after letting the goal in. But after that, we weren't really overtly troubled throughout the game. I don't think, from what I was watching, and the second half. Based on the second half alone, we deserved the win, definitely. And I don't care what their manager says. It was a penalty, 100%. Wasn't a foul by Rodon on their player. They were both battling for the ball. The guy's arms are in an unnatural position. So instead of his arms being down here, which is what their manager was saying, his arms come out like this. And he does this with his right arm. It spins up off of his leg. The ball's going to go into a dangerous position, and he does this with his arm. It's a penalty all day long. It doesn't matter how you dress it up, what you say about it. It's a penalty all day long. And it was really funny because Bamford picks up the ball for the penalty, and we're all going, "Please not Bamford. Please not Bamford." And then he gives the ball to Perot, and we all applaud Bamford for showing a little bit of thingy about him. But then it became very apparent that what he was actually doing was he was a bit of gamesmanship because their keeper and their players were around Bamford giving it all of this, and Perot was just stood on the outside of the box, just not paying attention to it. Absolutely fine. And what a penalty, by the way. The pressure of that penalty, immense, and he just digs it in and he's done it. Fantastic. And there was a bit where there was nearly a fight that broke out. Rodon got involved. I was really impressed with Rodon, actually. Every time he tried to bring the ball out, their players were just fouling him because he's got the pace and the nous to get past people. I thought Gray had a good game. I thought he kept Miller very quiet. It was funny when he got pushed into the hoardings in the second half. In the second half. And he got up and the guy went to apologise to him, and Gray basically told him to fuck off, and it was pretty much nearly a fighting shoot. Gray's got that little bit of devilment about him, which I really, really like. He's got that little bit of spite about him, which I really, really like. And it was a needly type game, and I really enjoyed the needle that was going on. The thing that was really good is that all of the players to a man stood up for themselves and were counted in the second half, despite being kicked about, despite being thrown about. There was, 2 occasions in the second half where Rutter was literally dragged down to the floor and the ref didn't even notice it. So, I mean, you can get worried thinking, oh, God, we're not going to get the penalty here, but we end up getting the penalty and we end up getting the 3 points. And the really funny thing was that we scored that penalty and you celebrated it for literally 2 seconds. And then as soon as you celebrated the penalty, everybody in the Kop end, including me, was fuck off to the keeper, to the right back, to their left back, to the away fans who couldn't even hear us, to their coaching staff. You know, fuck off, yeah, because of the time wasting, because of the not wanting to get involved. And it was really, really funny because as soon as we scored that, Preston then suddenly wanted to play football, which is, you know, it's just... it was very tiring, to say the least, and emotionally draining. And it was a very, very good game. Going through player by player, Melier, solid game. Firpo, solid game, replaced by Byram. Byram injected a little bit into it when he came on, which was really good to see. Ampadu and Rodon, immense, just immense. Love them to pieces. Gray at right back, really, really solid game. Thought he played well. Twiston turned his way out of a couple of situations quite nicely. Good play with the ball. Very, very impressed with him. We had, what else did we have? Gruev in the middle. Thought he had a very, very decent game again. Different game to Cardiff. Different type of thing he had to deal with. Was kicked about a lot, but his distribution of the ball was quite good. Camara had a decent game, I thought. Overall, good, was impressed. Somerville was a bit off it in the first half, more on it in the second half, so a bit more impressed with that. Rutter, as I said, I felt was a little bit... not his best game, but he causes problems regardless. Dan James, head and shoulders, best player on the pitch. By an absolute country mile, best player on the pitch. Bamford, I thought he had a decent game in terms of... He was unlucky with the header. A couple of efforts he was unlucky with as well, just because the chances were kind of half chances more than full chances. But overall, did his job of stretching the defenders quite well. Pirro, when he came on, was good. Injected a little bit into it again. Took the penalty phenomenally well. The man is just ice cold. There's nothing else you can say about it. I just knew he was going to score as soon as he, I was a little bit nervous, but I just knew that he was going to score as he came on. I thought Matteo Joseph was good when he came on. Apart from the free kick that he gave away towards the end, we played well, and I was impressed with the overall team performance. We had to stand up and be counted, and we were, and that's the main thing. So we have a real opportunity now. We need to go and beat Norwich on Wednesday night before the FA Cup game, and really put pressure on the teams that are slightly above us. But it was really important for us to win the game in the context of how the playoffs look, because that now puts 9 points between us and West Brom. We all know how quickly this can change in this league. However, that just gives us that momentum moving forwards, and we just need to keep on winning, keep on moving forwards, and keep on doing what we're doing. It was a stressful game to say the least, but we won. We won against the dark arts tactics, which was great. I think that was one in the eye for what happened on Boxing Day. And overall, we're pleased. Like I said before at the beginning of the video, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you like the video, please do that for me as well. If you've got any comments, please put some comments in the comment section down below. And on to Wednesday. I need to go and lie down. Thank you very much for stopping by. As ever, I always appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.